Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Snowy snow globe outside, at least on the east side. So
Yeah, let's
hopefully,
talk about this. What's going on the east side because it's not even nothing's happening here on the west side.
yeah, it's like full. I mean, it's
It's a
snow.
snowstorm.
Snow is falling at a fast rate. It is sticking to the ground. It's very beautiful. It's a winter wonderland. It's exactly what I want out of a November 17th day. 16th, 17th, don't even know what day it is.
17th all day long.
17th, here we go. Perfect day to talk about October and all the exciting stats we have for the month of October and what we can learn from them and how we can prepare our businesses for what we are now officially really starting to see change and shift in the market. So without further ado, I will share my screen here to go over some of the data highlight points. All right. So we added 11 new agents in the month of October, bringing our total agent count to 465. And with many appointments and career nights, there were 51 total new agents that we met with last month. Our contracts written. So we wrote 327 contracts in October. This is going to be the first stat of many that you're going to see. These are down over last October, which was a really great month for 2021 and great against many other months over the last few years. Both October of 21 and 20 were significantly high for their respective years. So most of this data is down to prep you ahead of time. And that's down 11% year to date. So we've been trending between like 9 and 12% year to date in contracts written down with less closed units, the market changing in terms of like buyers, changing the immediate need to buy when interest rates were still low and inventory was flying really fast. Almost overnight, it felt like to a lot of people that I talked to, that shift of whether it was buyer's fatigue or inventory just continuing to stay lower. Those who moved, we might believe already moved, but that's not the case. So we'll continue to talk about that as we go on. And this 183 agents wrote a contract last month. This is almost exactly the same number as September. So that is pretty even for this year. Our listings taken, we took 199 listings in October. That is up from September. We only took 165 listings in September. So, and it's also only down 5%. So you're going to see some of these other metrics are down significantly over last year, and listings taken is not down nearly as much. So that is a positive there. 81 of our agents took a listing, which is also just about at 18% even over last month. Mike, were you looking at something? No?
No. I was thinking I was trying to remember, like I feel, yeah, I mean it's like 5% seems like a lot, but in this scenario it's less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and that's all. I was just doing some mental math.
Yeah. So that is a stat you should feel good about. We took 209 listings last October, 199 this October. And again, that's still up over September when only 165 listings were taken. So these next few are GCI, which is gross commission income, company dollar, which is the portion of your commission, the 30% that the office keeps while you're uncapped. And then I'll just kind of jump ahead to closed units. These are all down roughly in the same percent, and they all correlate with one another. So I'm actually going to start with closed units that at 317 was down 23% from last year. So with that, I'm going to jump back up to GCI. So that's the gross commission income. That's the total of all of those deals. That's down 20%. So it's in terms of like the relative average commission, pretty in line with the number of closed units and total gross commission being down 23 and 20% respectively. Company dollar, not up. That should not be enough. Sorry for that confusion there. Down 20% over last year as well. So that is the amount of uncapped agents with closings and the 30% that we collect from that. So that was 222,849 in October. That is almost exactly even to the company dollar that we had in September of this year. So, and bringing me to my next point, our profit share also was almost exactly even to our September profit share. So in October, we profit shared 83,000. That is down 38% from October. I don't want to shy away from that number. We had a fantastic October last year, and we expected this in our projections and in our budgeting. So seeing that, although it hurts, it is there. Okay. Our partnership, so title company, that's our partnership with GM Title, and the figure you see here, you're going to see for our November and December financials as well. This represents the third quarter of closed business for GM Title, and we spread that evenly over the following quarter. So through the fourth quarter, we will spread this $20,101 evenly over the next 3 months. This is almost exactly in line with what we were spreading in Q3 from our Q2 profits, which was $20,500. So that stability, to have that, which is what we were sharing in Q3, to have that in Q4, is really effective, and you'll see that number again. America's Preferred Home Warranties, 5,166 last month. That's one of our higher months this year. We're still down year over year. And for those of you who are on these calls last year, we were able to do a huge cleanup of warranties and collect back on a ton of warranties that were never collected on or had the data collection forms filled in on. So our comp against last year has been low every month due to that, but we're in line with or higher even than prior years. So thank you everyone for supporting America's Preferred Home Warranty. It may feel like just $50 here and there, but it adds up, and it brings the company more revenue. It's shared above the line and goes towards profit share. Cross Country Mortgage, we receive $8,500 a month from Cross Country Mortgage for our MSA. So that is something that is stable that you'll see here every month. Greater Metropolitan Management is our property management company, GMM, as we often refer to them. They year to date are about 160,000 shared, and last year through the first 10 months of the year, around 140,000. So their business is up, which in turn increases the amount of profit every month that we are able to share. And our final partnership is Truehold. This is probably the fourth month that they have, third or fourth month that we have had them.
Yeah, October would be fourth month.
Yeah, okay. So the fourth month that we have been closing business and receiving profit from our Truehold deals. For those of you who aren't familiar with Truehold or haven't been on one of these calls, we have an arrangement with them that Liz Kosminski with her transaction coordination company handles all of their transactions when they buy homes in the Cleveland area. And so from that, we receive a flat fee of $850 per transaction. That is, we pay Liz from that for her transaction coordination work, and the rest is shared above the line in income category for True Hold. All righty. We talked about closed units, similar to that as closed volume. I could have included that in the trifecta I was sharing. Volume only down 17% when units are down 23. That just shows that prices are continuing to remain or have even been higher in some cases still in certain areas. And lastly, our average sales price. We were at 239 last month, 246 year to date still, which is up a little over 9% for the year. And I say this every month, but it's never been this high. And it is a great stat to add to your listing information, buyer packets, to use for people who might not feel like I don't have an average sales price yet, or I'm not sure what stats I should be sharing. Utilize the market center and the information and data that we provide. This is, you are one of us now. We are who you should use in your branding, and this data will help you. So, anyone have any questions? I know this one was a little bit of a downer, but any thoughts on any of these? Anything that you're feeling, whether it's listings taken or closed units? Anything?
I say, can you throw that back up for a hot second? I want to highlight a couple of things here. One, we're in the start of a high low, which is last year's business globally was really high. This year's fourth quarter business is coming in low, right? So that gap is going to seem really dramatic, right? But if I were to pull up or pull out, all right, pull out my docs, and if Julia, you have a multi-year trends, or Julia, Carrie,
I am currently holding it.
A quick side by side against like October of 19.
For which category?
Just any of them. Closed units is probably a good one.
All right, let's look at closed units. Okay, so in 2019 we closed 360 units.
All right. So you're looking at a difference of being closed units down 23% or closed units down 12%. From 19. So we had a really big year in 21, but if you look at like where the normalcy and the trend line really left us in 2019, it's not nearly as significant. Here's the other thing that I want to call out. We're sharing all of these numbers to help all of you understand what's happening in the market around you. And these percentages apply by and large at a global or macro level. That doesn't mean that anybody on this call or anybody in this company should be planning their business down 20%, right? You'll see that from month to month. You'll see great months where you were flat or bad months where you were way up. When we're zoomed in at the individual business level, right? The opportunity, the market won't, if you're selling 50 units a year, the market won't force you into selling 40. You can still sell 60 or 75 units next year. I've done a lot of follow-up on Business Planning Clinic and done one-on-ones. And, the context of the environment around you may lead you to believe that, man, should I be planning my business down? Am I doing the right things with planning my business? And by and large, I've encouraged most of the agents that I've done a follow-up consultation with to take the opportunity up, right? Because those units that slip out of the hands or slip out of the data for the market are slipping out of the hands of agents who do 4 to 12 units a year, who have been waiting on the phone to ring, right? So I think any number you pick for performance next year can certainly outkick the market. And then think about this, right? The market is going to be down 20, to 25% next year. If your business is up 20 to 25%, what a powerful narrative that can be for your clients, right? So anybody who has an up business in the fourth quarter should be starting the first quarter of next year telling the story, right? That your comparison against the market, against the average realtor, against the performance of the industry is better, right? It should show up in listing presentations, buyer consultations, and everything in between. So that, and then that's your target, right? Because as we work in the, we're dealing with 70,000 units and 75,000 listings at the MLS level, but in your business level, going from 36 to 54 units is 100% an achievable factor in the face of any market, right? If you're doing less than 50 units a year, the opportunity to go anywhere from 50 to 100% growth in the following year in any market is just going to require different strategies, right? And if you need help figuring out what those strategies should be, that's what me and the rest of the leadership team are here for. So we put those numbers out there not to intimidate or scare or to justify down business, but merely to help you understand what's happening in the world around you and identify other opportunities. Art, I saw you unmute.
So this is our market center, and our market center is the #1 market center in Northeast Ohio, pretty right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So our numbers, those are showing down numbers for our numbers. So if you're a realtor comparing your numbers, that's just to our market center. But for generally speaking, we didn't see the data, but generally speaking, across the market would probably be down more than what we just saw for our market center, correct? Generally speaking.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, I'm gonna try and pull up my data set here, and I can give you, because month to month it
Fluctuates.
It fluctuates, right? Like we were fairly in line, because we were in line with the downs for October, right? But the other thing that factors in, and this is where comparative analysis gets a little choppy, is our October 21 may have been up substantially more than the market, right? So our down is not as down on a 2-year, but by and large, our Julia, you want to throw that back up, just so I can look at the year to date, because even month to month, what closes when can be a little bit choppy. Okay, so year to date, yeah, so our year to date through, where's my through October numbers? Sorry, I'm looking at the so we're down slightly ahead of the market in the year to date category, but not in what I would call a material way, plus or minus a couple basis points, or a couple percent, which how things shake out in November and December will obviously tell the rest of that story. But the idea is that in the face of a down market, right, or a market that is shifting, the opportunity that we have, and we met as a leadership team on just Tuesday to talk about this, the opportunity that we have is, at the individual business level, right? Like if everybody's business is up 10%, then the global business for the company is up 10% in the face of a shifting market. And where we have strong statistics to share, like average sales price, our average sales price is $246,000. the average sales price for the average sold price for the market in October was 229,000, right? So there's our agents either sell more valuable homes or sell the homes at a higher price, right? So looking for those data points to drive whatever narrative it is that you're looking to deliver, we can help with that, and it's something that we'll continue to be more forward with, and hopefully you can glean from these. Also, I use trend graphics for a lot of my market-based data, right? And when we look at the MLS in total, right, that's 32 counties. Then when you start to zoom in, right, Cuyahoga County, Lorain County, Summit County, Lake County, Geauga County, our immediate and maximized surface area, the numbers hold, but generally will shift a few points one way or the other. The key takeaway here is your business can and should succeed in spite of the market, right? One example that I gave was, average days on market is climbing, right? Excuse me, and it should be expected to continue to climb throughout the coming months. The example that I was talking to Eddie Golden and Matt Chase about this, who run large real estate teams and do a lot of transactions. When it goes from 30 days on market average to 50 days on market on average in our MLS, that could lead you to believe that there's a long period, like, oh, now it's going to take longer to sell houses, I might not sell as many houses. That's not the case. If you stay in daily lead generation and lead follow-up activities, that shift for average days on market will only impact you once. Because if you're constantly lead generating for business and putting something else in your pipeline and putting something else under contract or putting something else on the market, you're going to have a 20-day period where you're going to have fewer closings. But it's when you remain active and diligent with lead generation, lead follow-up, that you continue to stack up closings and pendings and listings on days 51, 52, and 53, right? If you stay active from a lead generation standpoint, if you stay consistent, you only feel the slowdown in the market once, versus if you allow yourself to fall out of habit, then you hit, because right now, if you had nothing, like, think about this, in 2021, if you had nothing available from a business standpoint, you could have a closing inside of 35 days, right? If you found a buyer and they wrote the offer and got on the home, boom, you could have a closing in 35 days. Well, when the average time on market goes to 50 days, you're 60 to 75 days between closings if you have nothing. But if you're always lead generating for something, that's why average days between closings doesn't change for our top agents, but for one period, right? And then they're back to closings consistently. They just work through that initial slowdown of the market. So key there is make sure we are lead generating consistently. Any other questions about that, about what's happening in the market and about what's going on? I mean, from a business planning standpoint for us as a company, everything in the universe is, and everything from a global standpoint, National Association of Realtors, Ohio Association of Realtors, is that, we're going to be down, probably 10% this year and another 25% next year, from a transaction standpoint. We're not planning a business down 25% as a company. And the reason for that is because we know that you're not planning a business down 25%. And we know that this is pro time, right? Our company should, could, can, and will grow during times when other people are not growing, right? All right. Anything else before we do a quick little riff on the P&L?
Well, just like what you just said right there, those numbers, like you just shared with people not to do, those numbers, the media, a negative partner, negative family members, they're psyching realtors right out the market, and they're quitting right now. So
Yeah.
their clients that want to buy or sell this upcoming 2023, they're going to have to tell their client, "Oh, I returned my license. I have a job now."
Yeah.
So those people are going to have to. They're going to need a realtor. So some people are just psyching themselves out and listening to the media and listening to everything, that all the negative news, and they'll quit before any real signs of slowdown. Say, "Oh, I better quit now before I look up one day and don't have any money."
Well,
So,
and
That
here's
was something that happened in a big way in 2007. You
Yeah.
saw agents agents that had been in the industry for a long time just like left.
well, and here's my question to all of you and Liz, you nailed it. Damn it. Liz beat me to it in the chat. Here's the thing. Whenever you hear about a realtor leaving the business, or somebody who is a realtor that is like, "Oh, my business isn't doing what I want it to. I'm going to start working again and maybe keep my license." Right? One, are they, if they're not in our company, are they in a company that supports them as a dual career agent? Some of our most successful agents have full-time jobs. Right. And that's because they're able to access the resources, the coaching, and the training of our company at various times. So if you know anybody that's like shifting from full-time real estate into dual career, make sure they know about the opportunities that we have for dual career agents. And I'm looking at a few dual career agents, I think, on this call right now. Two, if they're getting out of the business, how do you get their database? Right? Because 70% of deals last year, according to the National Association of Realtors, came out of the database, right? And the majority of those, over 40% buyers and sellers, were a referral from a friend, a family member, or a former colleague, right? So, and that makes sense, right? When you think about what's happening from technology and lead aggregation, what the economic recession, the dip in housing, the eradication of realtors from the boards, right? Because there's fewer transactions and people, the good, quote unquote, the good times are over. It just means that those people who, how everybody knows at least 2 or 3 realtors now, and suddenly a lot of people are not going to know any. Well, they're going to go online and they're going to click Zillow, or they're going to click Google pay-per-click ads, or this, that, and the other thing. And so that database number should be expected to drop unless we as realtors think cooperatively, not competitively, and find a way to get into relationship with people who are getting out of the business to capture their database and service the clients that otherwise would have come to them. At the very least, to Art's point, when they get the phone call that says, "Hey, look, Bob got transferred, and so we need to sell the house," and they say, "I'm not in real estate anymore," they should be following up with, "And I've been referring all of my business to Art Obleton, or to Monica Woodman," right? Or to Dia, or to Project Pat Barman, right? Those are the people that and so how do you get into those relationships, right? I would go back and look at everybody you've done a deal with, right? We talk about here's a great fourth quarter touch, right? For those of you that want to grow your profit share, for those of you that want to have the opportunity at snagging database from somebody getting out of the business, go back and look at all the deals that you did this year, right? Who did you co-broke with? What's your follow-up, your year-end pop by coffee, copy of the MREA, business planning touch for every one of your co-brokes? How do you have that conversation where it's like, "Hey, I just thinking back on the deal we did at 123 Main Street, and would love to catch up, grab a cup of coffee, and just share a little gratitude with you for helping me have a great year. Hey, how was your year? Oh, what are you planning for next year?" You're going to hear about how they're nervous. You're going to hear about how their broker's cutting their marketing budget, or how their amenities at the office aren't quite what they were. The coffee's not as hot as it used to be. That's your opportunity to say like, wow, that's really interesting, because at my company, all we're talking about is all the growth opportunity in the next year. And, you know, my coach or my team leader or you know, the person that sits next to me in the office was telling me about how they're trying to double their business, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Those are very authentic and real conversations that can help us preserve talent in this industry. And also help you get into a relationship with somebody that might refer you deals as they're like, hey, I'm too busy because I had to start working full time. And now I have 2 people that want to list and I don't think I actually want to do it. So can you just pay me a referral fee? Monica, if I referred you a listing, would you take it? Right? Right? So something to consider as you look at, we have, what do we have? What is today? The 17th, right? All day long. So that means that we have exactly 6 weeks left in the year. 13 days, 44 days. So no, not exactly 6 weeks, but 44 days left in the year, right? So, you know, if you did 44 deals this year, like Monica and Art did, actually, I think they both did more. But, you know, you could just talk to one of your co-brokes a day, one dial a day to say, hey, thanks for that deal, right? Appreciate you being a great co-broke. Appreciate you making it a great deal. Would love the opportunity to grab a cup of coffee and talk about your business plans for next year. I'm looking for someone to bounce ideas off of, and I'm sure you are too. Then who knows? Who knows? Anybody have anything to add to that? I think that was a great little riff there. All right. So what I'm going to do for the P&L conversation today is I'm throwing up on the screen our P&L as a company, right? And here's what we're not gonna go through, you know, all of the nitty gritties of, you know, a $25 million budget, right? Or where we spend everything. What I want everyone to understand from this is, one, everybody in the company has access to this through KW reports. At any time you can come in and see, you know, how much, where's the company dollar? Like we share it out very publicly. So if you ever want any of this information, just show up to this call like you all have, or request it, or attend one of our ALC meetings, right? Where we talk about these things. There's plenty here. All I want you to take away as it relates to a P&L is the very simple structure of a document that says, what do I expect to earn? This is a P&L. What am I going to earn by month, by quarter, by year in top line revenue? For us, that's gross commission income. Where's that going to come from is the second, is a subsection of that, listings or buyers. And then where am I spending money to get that business, and where am I spending money to run my business? So cost of sales and expenses. And then you want to revisit this on a monthly basis, right? So that's what we do as a company, right? So here's our actuals for the month of, you know, our income from the month of October of 2022. The current actual is what actually came in for October of 2022. And then you see the current budget, right? Which is that month's budget for 2022. So in total, there were $2.1 million of gross commission income was generated in our company. We had budgeted 2.16, right? So we were off by about $40,000 on the budget, right? Or I'm doing my math quickly here, probably about 2% variance. Not too shabby, right? But now I know, like, hey, we thought we were going to have more GCI. You know, how does that flow through the document? Well, I'll tell you how it flows through, because here's the company dollar, right? That's our revenue as an organization. We thought we got 222. We were thinking 238. So there's a $15,000 variance there, right? You can also see these year-to-date actual, year-to-date budget, year-to-date variance, right? So now you can see like, hey, even though we were down 15 grand, we're actually up, about 60 grand on the year, right? So now I know in a snapshot, like, hey, how was last month? Last month was okay. You know, we're within a a single digit variance one way or the other on total sales and total top line revenue for the company. And year to date, we are still ahead in both categories, right? So we're still in a position where we can make budget. Cool. I look at my expenses, and we keep a chart of accounts. A chart of accounts is nothing more than designating what expenses will be categorized in what way. We have a lot of them because we're running a large and diverse organization with a lot of needs spread over multiple counties and boards and agents and offices. With your business, you might only have 10 things that you track your spending on, or you might only have 5. I don't know. But what you need to know is, where are you going to spend money and how much money do you think you're going to spend? Monthly, quarterly, and annually. That's going to allow you to at the end of each month to understand, was it a good month? Was it a bad month? Am I ahead or behind? Do I need to change the way that I'm spending money or investing time? Cool. As you can see, there's a lot of things here, and the variance column is going to be really helpful, right? When I read this report, right? And I will say that I've been reading profit and loss statements for about 15 years. The variance column is typically where my eyes go first, right? If I see a $20 variance, I might not invest a lot of time, energy, and resources in understanding a $20 variance against a month where we had over $200,000 in revenue. Now, that's at a monthly level. If annually I see a variance, right? If it's like, yeah, but okay, it was only $20 this month, but year to date we're off by 1,000. I'm probably going to dig in there and ask some questions, which you should do as well for yourself on your P&L. Or if I see massive gaps from a variance standpoint in the other way, like, hey, are we not spending as much money as we expected to on meals, and why not? Like, should we get more food, or do we take those savings to the bank? So you can have any number of things here. You'll see we include taxes as an expense, as you all should. You all should be planning to pay taxes and making quarterly payments on your taxes. So that's the power of a P&L, and you don't need fancy software, guys. You don't need anything other than an Excel spreadsheet. My first P&L that I ever drew up for my personal finances was when I was 19 years old. I did it on a yellow legal pad. It was like a pirate ledger. I tracked every expense. I categorized them. I added them up. I had a top sheet, and you could do it on yellow legal paper. Spreadsheets allow you to do it much faster. One thing I want everybody to consider with their business, right? So let me get you. Now, as you can see here, we have other income inside income, other income outside income. It will be unlikely that you will have inside income, right? Unless you charge additional for transaction fees, right? You charge above and beyond the $199. You are not in a. It's unlikely that you'll have a facility that you are renting that you are then subletting to someone else. But when we pay rent, and then somebody wants an office or a desk in our offices, we charge a market rent there, which allows us to recoup some of the costs, right? And when we charge transaction fees, those go to supplement our budget so that we can continue to grow and expand offerings. You may have the same thing. As you look at your P&L, you might charge $3.99 or $2.99 instead of $1.99, and you make another $100 on a transaction. That could be $1,000 in a month. You want to represent that differently so you know where your revenue is coming from. What is much more likely with most people is going to be the other income outside income, which if you have a partnership with a title company, if you get money from America's Preferred Home Warranty, if you get money from referring insurance companies or getting quotes, and they're able to pay you on that, those are all things that you should be categorizing as outside income, so that you're not mistaking what you're earning in your real estate business for what you're earning as a result of your real estate business, right? Those are important distinctions when we want to move our mindset from being a salesperson to being a business owner, right? As a business owner, you have streams of income that come from the work you do, the work that others do. You have streams of expenses and what you pay people to do that work. And then you have outside income sources, whether it be, title or insurance or mortgage or what have you. So it's important to designate those so you know what you're earning from your work, what you're earning from other people's work, and then what your business is earning for you. Another thing to categorize an outside income, and I encourage you to put it on your P&L for your real estate business, is profit share, right? Almost $85,000 in profit share was shared out by our company to our agents last month, right? And so that can be considered outside income because that is income that you are earning as a result of your business, believe it or not, which is attractive to other agents and brings them to this company, has them name you as their sponsor, and then leads to you being rewarded for helping us grow with the right people. And so, it's a great earning opportunity. I think that the average agent who earns profit share earns a couple $1,000s a year, which is great. And we have agents who earn as much as $100,000 a year inside of Keller Williams. So a great opportunity all around. But then you'll have your total, you'll see your total expenses on a monthly basis. So, when we look at where we showed up from a total revenue standpoint, you saw that we were down about 15 grand, but we get to add in outside income and inside income against our total monthly expenses. But at the end of the day, we came in below from an expense standpoint. We came in with less expenses than we wanted, but not as much revenue as we wanted. So our profit and profit share were not where we wanted them to be. We wanted $97,000. Where is that? $97,000 in profit share. And we got 83, right? So we're behind where we want to be, slightly behind on the year. In terms of, we're basically in line with where we wanted to be for the entire year until we got into this fourth quarter. So knowing that, we can make some important decisions in November and December to try and get back to where we wanted to be. And then also understanding that we have a, and informing our budget for next year, right? So sometimes this can be a little intimidating for folks, which I understand. But here's all you need to know. How much money do you expect to make? How much money did you actually make? How much money did you expect to spend, and where did you expect to spend it? And how much did you actually spend, and where did you spend it? And then what does that mean for the profit of your business? If you think about those three things, that creates a profit and loss statement and puts you in a position to be more aware of the financial status of your business and know which levers to pull. If you spent $5,000 more in the third quarter than you expected to, you ought to know where you spent it. Like, the account just being $5,000 shy is not useful or actionable, right? What are you going to do? Stop eating? No, you wouldn't stop eating. You might, or stop the thing that's creating lead generation. But if you're, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was spending $1,000 a month on this web service that I'm no longer using. Great. Now that you saw it, you can delete it or cancel it. So the whole key here is to create awareness, to create insights, and from those insights, start taking action. And the action you want to take, the first action I think for everybody to take is, if you don't have someone, or if you're not running a P&L, start running one. If you're completely absent of any interest of doing this, Liz, who runs a transaction management company here inside of our office, also does bookkeeping services, which includes, I believe, a P&L. So do that. But at the end of the day, not having a P&L is not, no one should be running a business without a P&L. So I'll pause there, as we are 10 minutes from the top of the hour. Any questions before we call it a month? All right, guys, reminders. Anybody you've done a deal with in the last 12 months, send them some love, get a meeting, learn about their business next year. Number two, if you want to get ahead of next year, be at our Win with Sellers class on November 30th in Pepper Pike with Shoshana Socher. Shoshana's listed, I think, more than 4 dozen homes this year. And so she is, that's basically one a week. She is great at winning with sellers, and you're going to want to be great at winning with sellers in any market. So be there November 30th in the Pepper Pike office. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. If you guys need anything from me, please let me know. Sound good? All right. Well, have a wonderful week and weekend, and we won't see you until after the holidays. So enjoy Thanksgiving.